Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Tuesday. Thank you for tuning in to another WABA IG Live conversation. I am your host, Helen Bohanna, with She Knows Her Sports, with the S on my chest, because guess what? This is my mood today, so the shirt is complimenting me. But we have another great conversation lined up for you today, but we'll get back into that. Let me go ahead and give you the rundown of the WABA. They are a professional women's basketball league who extends their platform for female basketball players worldwide post-college. They are made up of 32 teams, including Tijuana, Mexico, and they are better known as the League of Opportunity. But not only for female basketball players, if you have a small business in a city where they have a team located, if you have a sports brand and you want to get it out there on the market, or for all of you aspiring team owners, guess what? The WABA League expansion is open until April the 30th of this year. So if that is you and anything that I had just named, please reach out to them by visiting www.womensaba.com. Follow them here on Instagram at womensaba. So, other than that, let's get back to our conversation. We have none other than Mr. Stephen Julien. He is the owner of the New England Trailblazers. I do believe that he has tuned in. So, let's request him and get this conversation. Hey,
How's it going?
good. How you doing?
I'm good.
Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday.
Same to you.
Thank you again for your time and coming on here to talk to us right quick. So,
Not a
other
problem.
than that, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Stephen Julien. I go by the name of Coach Steve out here in Boston. I've actually been coaching ever since I was 19. I'm 37 now. I've been on the level of actually having a team in the WBCBL women's league about 10 years ago, and I did the ABA men's about 3 years ago.
Okay.
So it's been a great ride as far as doing the ownership, and from on the lines of ownership, coaching, trying to dabble in everything.
Exactly.
So with the ABA itself, it was an experience within itself. And then, Marcia took the time to reach out to me numerous times and say, hey, you need to put a team in the market. And like I told her, if there's more teams in the area, we'll gladly do it. And she has been a person of her word, and again, teams in New York and, DC has a team in New
That's
Jersey.
smart.
Yeah, she's definitely doing her job for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, you say you've been coaching for 19 years. Has it just been coaching in your athletic background, or
I
were you an
mean,
athlete yourself?
just high school sports, track, basketball,
Okay.
played semi-pro football, but basketball's always been my passion.
Okay,
The way
great.
I even got into coaching was one of my old coaches after we won the cities and states. He literally came to me and was like, hey, I'm retiring and I want you to take over. And I'm looking at him like, I'm 19, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, you know what? I'm
Wow.
going to use my street smarts at this point and literally just find all the talent that I know, get them on this team and see what we can do. And we actually ended up repeating and doing the same thing again. So just the love of, winning, the atmosphere has just been great. And then we have a lot of tournaments in Boston, especially a lot of women's tournaments ran
Mhm.
by one of my good friends, Mitch. So I've been in his tournaments numerous times competing. Love the atmosphere, love the winning and stuff. So for me, that's just been the main goal.
Mhm.
But I now want to just sit back and enjoy the ownership part of it. I'm
Wow.
literally just been trying to hire a full staff because the first previous times I've done it on my own. Literally every position you could think of, I did it on my own.
But
And it
look
not
at you,
and
and
it
you made
wasn't
it
and
work.
you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like not trusting anybody. It was just finding people with the time to
Yeah.
actually, deal with that type of stuff and being like, what's a first year program? You may or may not get paid for it, but it is a great resume builder. And some people got to understand that if you're going in a mindset with this of like, how can
Yeah,
I
just
make
money,
money?
money, money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not going to work. You know what I'm saying?
because
You might have a good year, but that's about it. It's just not gonna work.
exactly, because if you're passionate about it, the money will come. uh,
Exactly.
it's all about the experience and the knowledge,
Hmm.
and that's how you build your worth.
Of
So,
course.
wow. So how long have you been involved in so women's sports? Was you said 3 years ago?
No. So I've actually done the women's basketball. I've been coaching that for probably say 14 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. So like I said, we had a women's semi-pro team in the WBCBL at one point, and then like all the teams in New York, I think want to say Maine and New Hampshire actually folded, so we didn't even have like people to play.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, it actually came out to the point where at one point they were like, "Hey, if you want to stay in the league, we'll just kind of advance you to the playoffs since you have nobody to play." And I was just like, "Yeah, that's not my direction. My girls are not getting the experience to play, then I just don't want to do it." And then I said, like, we have this one women's tournament up here, ran by Mitch, that he gets all the talent from all over New England to come down. One of my good friends, Greg, who happens to be my assistant coach, he has this program called Sis Run out here that he started this summer that passed, and it's catered to a lot of the middle school, high school girls, and some of the college girls that are at UConn, Michigan, things like
Yeah.
that. And they just come and it's open run, and it's just great to see a lot of our veterans running with the younger group. And he was the main reason why I was like, you know what, I just want to do this women's program. Why not? And then Marsha has been, when I tell you, consistent. She has. It's
And
almost to the
shout out
point
to
where, like, yeah,
Marsha.
she is
Marsha,
consistent, and
she is.
she's been so supportive, and she's been on it, and it's been like, it don't matter what time it is, she's answered my questions. She'll even call me sometimes like, hey, any other questions you have. And I just like the way I like this is honestly from me doing the men's side
Mm-hmm.
of things. The women's side has been, I can say for now, has been a pleasant ride for me, even though we're
Yeah.
just getting started. The men's team was more thrown at me. There was a previous owner that we had. I guess he came down from Detroit, coming in the Boston market, and literally the week before our first game, he just ups and leaves and signs over the team to me and is gone.
Wow.
So it was like, oh, okay. And like when I tell you, those players were, solely dedicated, um, to the
Yeah,
point that
because you didn't walk away from them, and they saw
right.
that.
And I'm talking about the players was driving the vans to the games that we had in upstate New York. And that's like 8 hours there. We play our game and then we're riding 8 hours back.
Mm-hmm.
And they're literally playing because they just want game film to send overseas. And
Exactly.
and it just so happens that we ended up beating the Rochester team, who did not lose in 3 years, and we beat them by buzzer beater. So I'm talking about
Okay.
all the owners
Was it a
contacted me.
drive-in or was
It
it
was a
a
3-point shot for the
floater? Was it
game.
a three?
It was a 3-point shot for the game. Shout out to
Okay.
my guy Alvin from Lynn. I appreciate him so much. That's my guy right
Hey.
there. He hit. I'm telling you, like once he hit that shot, their coach got fired literally the next day, and they transferred out like 5 players and then brought in a whole new group and actually contacted one of our star players from Boston to actually go
Mm-hmm.
run with them.
Mm.
So
Mm-hmm.
for me, that win alone was that solidified a lot of things for me, honestly.
I
So for
bet.
me,
I bet.
with the women's program, we have so much talent here. It's almost surprising that we are the city of champions, quote unquote, and we don't have a WNBA team here. It's mind-boggling to me how
It's
much.
only right that you have one.
And that is my main goal for this. Like I literally want somebody to put a buzz in Danny Ainge's ear or whoever's ear to say, hey, there's a semi-pro team that's making noise, so we should bring a women's program here, on a
Why
professional level
not?
like that. Why not? Exactly.
Why not? Women's basketball is just growing so rapidly and every day. And you know, these females has proved time and time again that they deserve this exposure. They deserve this support,
Correct.
'cause they just as passionate as men are.
Mm,
So,
listen,
and I'm
I
pretty sure they can play against the best of them.
listen. I got a few girls. I promise you, when they step on that court, I mean, and the funny thing about it is, it's like the women actually have more support when it comes to the fans. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Like, even though we do have the men's tournaments, which is
Yeah.
cool, and they dunk and they do all that type of stuff like that. Like, when it comes to like on that semi-pro level, I honestly say like the women's support, like family, friends,
Of
you know,
course.
their best
Because
friends, home, the support is crazy.
it's a great game. Like it's it's just as good sitting down looking at a woman's game, than the usual men's game. Because I mean, they have handles,
Yeah,
So they got sharpshooters on the team, great defense. So
exactly.
why not? Like they play with just as much passion. So as a fan, speaking of a fan, that makes your adrenaline pump even more.
Yeah,
You know,
listen, I'm telling
come
you,
to the game to watch.
they put on a show, believe it or not.
Exactly, exactly. Tell us about the Trailblazers. Just tell us.
So originally, I'm going through the names and I'm just trying to figure out, what's gonna work best.
Mm-hmm.
And just, Trailblazer, somebody who's just, leaving a mark for others to follow. Was just, I
Wow.
felt like that was just the move that we had to make. Honestly, it was also motivation behind the Portland Trailblazers, with their logo. And a lot of people don't know that their logo, the stripes on their logo, pertain to offense and defense coming
Mm-hmm.
full circle.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and that was one of the main drives for me when it came to that. And then, of course, I reached out to one of my go-to players, Cash Cannon, on the name, and she was like, "Yo, I like the name. I think we should definitely just go with it." So she's always been the one player that, whether she's going to be the one that's going to be the general forefront, or one day actually taking over the team to coach it,
Mm-hmm.
that's the one person that I definitely go to, because she definitely saved me on a lot of games when it came to coaching. So
And you know what? Trailblazer is self-explanatory. You
exactly.
take the trail, like you said, leave your mark everywhere you go.
Hmm.
We do have a comment in the comments, which is my client. They're a nonprofit based in LA,
Okay.
but they're growing worldwide with forming multiple chapters.
Hmm.
Um, they are actually in operation to improve the lives of student athletes in inner cities.
Okay.
And the CEO is in the comments, and she says she would love for some of her student athletes to come and meet your team. So,
That would be, yeah, we can definitely make that happen. Whatever you need, let's make it happen.
yes, because, they improve the lives of these students financially through housing, nutrition, education, and mentorship. So,
Okay, good,
to
good,
be able
good.
to connect you guys and let
Yeah,
these
for
kids,
sure.
be in the presence of professional. I don't even want to call them semi-pro. They're professional women in basketball. Yeah, this would definitely. Oh, they said thanks, coach.
All
So
right, no, I appreciate it. No, for sure. Anything
so
you need,
we'll get that set up
we'll get
because
that
I'm
set
pretty
up. Yeah,
sure
no
those
problem.
other kids too. I'm pretty sure. So do you have a full roster?
No, I actually don't have a full roster yet. Honestly, we have because I'm covering New England, and you're thinking of Maine, New Hampshire,
Yeah.
Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Vermont. So we're covering all of those, and it's, if I can get one or two players from each one, then great. You know,
Man.
I will be making an announcement March 1st on
Okay.
3 players that we will be signing officially. They
Great.
already had the verbal agreement, so we're all set
So
there.
will you be going live?
Will I be going live when I do this?
Yeah. Why not? Why not? Let us see, coach.
um, I mean, I'm definitely gonna post it on the social media page. That's for sure.
Okay.
The website will be launched on that day too as well. I'm actually working on the website now to get everything together, getting the staffing together and stuff like that. But there is a few players that we have in mind that we are working on. One very big name, um, which is, I'll enclose that, later on. But one very big name in the city that she's making things bigger than basketball.
Wow.
And
And
it's,
that's the goal.
what she wants to do for her country, what she wants to do for her people is bigger than basketball. And if she happens to get on the team, that would be a great look. But at the end of the day, you know, if that's not her move, we do have to move on and go from there. So for me, I don't wait for anybody. I'm just going to build this team the correct way. The only thing
Yeah.
we are missing, which I didn't think was going to be this hard, was getting a female head coach. Um, it's, you know, surprising because for me, I generally want to hire at least 80% of my staff will be women, because I
Yes.
want to give them the opportunity to build their resume and
Man.
just to get on that outlook. So 80% of my staff will be women. So I got to find the right head coach because honestly, there's a lot of talent on this team. And it's to the point that once we put everything together, when we make substitutions, we're not going to lose anything on the floor. And I need to have a coach that's going to be, you know, ready to do things like that. We have a lot of Division I players. So, I, you know, like, let's be real. I can't get a coach that, you know, that's a former player on a D3 level trying to coach D1 program women because at the same time, some of them might not want to listen. They might be like,
Exactly.
"What are you about to teach me?
You ain't gonna relate. She's not
You
gonna
ain't
be
gonna
relate.
relate." So even for myself, I've only coached at a D3 level, but the good thing for me is that I've the teams I've put together, we're winning. So at the end of the day, it was like, okay, well, if we're winning, I don't care what your resume is looking like, we're winning. You're doing your
Exactly.
job.
You have that experience.
Exactly. So for me, it's just I have to find the right woman coach to fill that position, and you know, once the opportunity happens, then you know, it will. I feel like everything's going to fall into place once we start really getting the team out there practicing. You know, we're still working on the home gym,
Mm-hmm.
practice facility. I wanna have a practice facility in one of our local neighborhoods. Honestly, so show them like you're not necessarily on a giving back, but I want to show them like we're here for them. We're not about to go to the outskirts to go, you know, practice and things like that. You know, we want to be in a community center where the kids can actually come and sit in on a practice and things like that.
Great, great. That's what's up. So, Coach, how does it feel being a rookie team in what seems to be the most anticipated season
I
thus
love
far
it. I
in the
love
league?
it. And the reason why I love it is because at the end of the day, I'm gonna be honest with you, we have
Hmm.
nothing to lose. That's that's what people don't understand. Like I know for a fact we're not gonna come in there and tank or anything like that. But at the end of the day, we have nothing to lose. All the
Oh,
teams that have been in this league, you know, and kudos to them. Like I literally, I'm following a lot of them on social media. I'm loving how they, you know, their coaching staff is being built. I love how a lot of the teams that have been in the league are actually rebuilding and going in, you know, different
exactly.
directions. So honestly, for all the rookie teams that's out there that's coming in the league, enjoy it. It's a stepping stone. It's a beautiful thing. I've been lucky in a lot of the leagues I have entered that, you know, my teams have actually done pretty good.
Hmm.
And again, it's really the talent. My players have made my job that much easier, flat out. And you know what I'm saying? So for me, honestly, we have nothing to lose. I'm just gonna sit back. I'm gonna enjoy it. And you know, if my
Yeah.
if my coaches and my players are not doing what they need to do, then we just go back to the drawing board. But this for me this is gonna be fun. I'm going
I,
to be enjoying every bit of this. It's gonna be fun for me. So
so when you found out before you was, I mean, as you was approached by Marsha, when you found out that this season they took the season off,
mhm.
like was it like in a sense a good thing so you can actually like build your team and be prepared for when you have your team formed and your coaching staff and you can actually get
Honestly,
out.
it was she when she reached out to me and said they took a year off in the game plan that they had. I was like, that sounds great. I'm good. I'll just pass. And this was like, no, Steve, I'm telling you, we're gonna get more teams and for you to play. And I was like, okay, well, when you get the teams, then we'll have this conversation again. And she, like I said, she kept her word to it. But for me, honestly, I was ready to go regardless. I was just making sure that it was the right move at the time because honestly, even a little bit before COVID, but then maybe the last 5 years, if it wasn't for Mitch doing his women's tournament, there would be nothing pertaining to women.
Wow.
So it was almost to the point where Mitch was getting ready to do his tournament again. COVID hit. But what kind of saved it was, again, with Greg doing the cis run. That actually, I actually went there and I sat back and I was like, okay, I have to do a team now. Like, there's no way I can't. To see the and it's young talent. So I wasn't even going off of like, okay, let me see if I can, go find these veterans, So it was young talent that motivated me to be like, okay, we have to make this gateway happen. If this gateway is not happening for, these players in the near future, then, there's no point. There actually is supposed to be, another Boston team that's in Boston. So I actually looked at that as another way, because it's like, if I'm only taking 15 to 20 players,
Yeah.
like if I'm going to take 15 to 20 players, at least they have another outlet for another team that they can go on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then that's local home games and stuff like that too, that we don't have to travel. So for me, honestly, everything happens for a reason. I'm not going to lie to you. COVID actually got me to sit still for a little bit and
as all of us
actually
have.
focus on other business ventures and things like that. So it actually ended up being really good. So I really couldn't complain.
Okay. So what type of marketing campaign do you have right now in place? Like, you're a fresh team. Um, the season begins in 6 months.
Yeah.
August will be here before you know it. So,
Yeah,
what type of marketing campaign you have in place?
So honestly, your basic outlets: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I do have a friend that's in Atlanta right now. She actually is going to put me in some positions with some political connects, to see what else we can do as far as getting the team out there. We actually are in the running of, getting a new mayor soon, because our mayor just actually got, he's actually going to be with Biden now. So we have a new candidates running for mayor and things like that. A lot of my friends are actually very well connected. So the word is getting out there, because every time I post something on Instagram page,
go out there and go on and bump elbow.
Exactly. I literally have a good amount of just people coming out of nowhere with the support is crazy.
Good.
And it's a beautiful thing. I actually just hired my director of basketball operations today, verbally. And she came in with a great mindset, not even knowing me from a hole in the wall, but the people who recommended her are people that are very, that I know have a good background, a good standing. So it was an easy fix. And then, I'm saying, again, supporting women, getting her in there, helping her build her resume is my main objective and my main goal. So everything is falling into place. Like, I really have like female videographers that are coming in. The medical staff is going to be females. Like, literally the only two people is my scouting guy Mitch and my assistant coach Greg. That's probably going to be the men. Oh, and then my equipment manager Shane. Other than that, everybody else is going to be women. So
I salute you. I truly respect it, because women are growing rapidly in the sports industry.
Exactly.
Like, in every position: coaches, team owners, referees, media outlets, journalists, correspondents, players. So, CEOs, GMs, etc. So, yes. That's what's up, Coach. Like, you setting the tone. You really setting the tone, because
again, like it's a male dominated business.
it is. And we're finally breaking down the walls.
Exactly. So whatever I can do to get these women in this position to make it happen, that's what I'm gonna do. So
yes. Hey, I'm gonna tell you now, you setting a trend right there.
I appreciate it.
So, how is it there? So you're like in the Boston area, right?
Yeah, correct.
So is everything open?
We just got into our phase 3. So the restaurants and stuff like that are at 40%. Gyms are open back up for the most part. We actually have been one of the states that's actually been pretty good with, shutting stuff down before it got worse. So it's actually been a fairly decent ride. Like none of our clubs are open or anything like that. Like it's just restaurants, stuff to do
Okay.
during the day. At one point we were shut down at 9 o'clock curfew. They kind of opened that back up now. The restaurants and everything is still, taking everything under precaution. Our numbers have
Okay.
gone down. So we still have our high school sports are going, but most of the players are playing with masks. So
Okay.
um,
Good.
college basketball is going on. A lot of little leagues here and there.
Yeah.
We actually played in a flag football league throughout all of COVID, but they made the precaution happen with everybody wearing masks at all times, things like
Mhm.
that. So as far as that, our mayor and our governor has been very on point with trying to make sure that it doesn't spread too bad.
Great. Safety is key. So,
Correct.
um, are you connected with any organizations in your community? Like, um, even though we're in a pandemic, like
Hmm.
really getting out there and, like I said, just bumping some elbows,
Yeah,
introducing yourself.
all of that is being put in place. I've been having in the last 2 weeks. I've been having conversations with a lot of
Okay.
important people. People connecting me with a lot of people. Like I've told them, like if I'm not reaching out to the YMCA's, the Boys and Girls Clubs, those type of programs, I don't want to touch it. Like if we're not giving back, I don't want to touch it. And
That's what.
I don't want it to be um I don't want it to be something where it's like, oh, we give these kids some T-shirts, take some pictures, and call it a day. No, we're coming
No.
in there
It's
to run some clinics. What can we do to help? Have making sure the kids, get free, get to come to the games for free and get to come actually watch
been
and things like that. So we want to make sure,
get
yeah,
involved in something or possibly
exactly.
go
With
live
my
into
with
your
my
thing, you know?
Right, with my job, I work for Capital One, and we literally in the downtown area in Boston, we'll paint the light posts, we'll plant trees, and if $1 billion corporation is doing that, why can't we, what I'm
Yeah.
saying, do the same thing? So
Okay, okay. Well, personally, how have you been during the pandemic?
I've been great. I'm telling you, I have no complaints whatsoever at all.
Right.
It's like I said, like it's saved me money. For me, for me going out a lot, so it has
That's
saved me
always a good
money.
thing.
Definitely a good thing. But no, it's actually been a blessing. I can say none of my like close friends or family have even came close to catching COVID, and maybe just a handful have, and they've beat it. So, um, it's honestly been a blessing. So.
That's what's up. How has your mental been? Like, as a black man with the recent unjust in the world, the Capitol riots and police brutality and etc. Like, I know, all of that has really been like months ago, but
Mhm.
now it's kind of stretched out. But in all reality, like, how have you been? Like, just
I can
what is
honestly
your
I can honestly say my job has actually created a Black Lives Matter platform for us to vent about these things.
okay?
They have, I mean, they've literally taken us like when we was at home taking calls, they would block out our slots every day for us to go have meetings with our peers and actually have the CEO and all those people in these meetings just to listen to how we feel about certain situations. um
Capital One.
yeah, just to the point that we actually have, because it's Black History Month, they've actually sent like t-shirts and swags that we can actually wear at work all the whole entire month. They've opened up platforms. They've told us like, hey, if you need anything, you need to take a mental day off. Like they've been so supportive. Personally
Wow.
for me, um I can say it hurts to see Black men and women have to go through that type of stuff. Um, because I think for us is the reality check of our ancestors having to go through it, and some of us sometimes being naive
Yeah.
to think it won't happen in your city, and just because it's not getting reported doesn't mean that it didn't happen.
You're right.
Um, And Boston is one of those places where, you know, a lot of people are just like, oh, Boston actually has black people. This is crazy. You know, they don't, if you're not from Boston or, you know, visit here, you wouldn't know that. So people just automatically assume, you know, that it automatically comes down to, you know, it's a very racist uh place, but it's honestly, it's not. Don't get me wrong. There is their moments.
Yeah.
You catch yourself caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's a lot of slick comments, things like that. Um, but for the most part, honestly, the protesting that we did up here was handled very well. We did get kind of reckless with the looting and things like that. But the protesting part have been very great. A lot of our political people have been very supportive. A lot of them are young black people themselves. The mayor that we had up here, he's actually opened up the doors for a lot of our minorities and given them jobs within, you
Right.
know, that stuff. So it's been great. So honestly, for me, it has ups and downs for the other states that are going through it. And my hat goes off to them. Prayers go out to them. But for me personally, again, if it wasn't for the support of my job, I honestly don't know how I would feel, but they've been very supportive with that.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I'm glad, you know, these jobs are really starting to sit back and try to understand, you know, the mentality and what people of color go through. Um, so that's truly great. Like I really like I really wish for other like workplaces to follow that trend right there because you know it's needed.
Yeah,
Def-
some workplaces don't want to touch it. They're like, "Oh my God, I don't
exactly,
want to touch it. I don't want to
and
go."
they need to,
And
and they
they
need.
and they when I tell you, like, I'm talking about very supportive. I mean, we're in there swearing. You know what I'm saying? Like you're thinking a corporate $1 billion corporation, and they're like, "Listen, it's free reign. Speak
And
your
then the
mind. Say
a
what you gotta say."
mental off,
Yeah,
mental.
like if you need to cuss somebody out real quick, and you know, if you need to, you know, use some languages to get your point across so they can understand, they were all for it, and nobody was getting, you know, jeopardized for it. It wasn't, you know, costing anybody no job or a write up or anything. They just left it as an open forum.
Wow. Again, shout out to Capital One for sure. Good job. Um, what type of change would you like to see?
As far as,
Like in the world, you know, because we have come a long way.
I mean, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. What I would want would be in a fairy tale world. I'm being
Um,
completely honest with you. What we're living in, it'll be a fairy tale world.
platform is for. Be
Right.
honest.
But I would honestly say just the opportunity. And literally that's what, as minorities, they're literally asking for. Let me get the opportunity to show you what I'm capable of. Let me get my foot in the door. How are you gonna tell me as a minority I'm not as smart as you because you did X, Y, and Z and you're Caucasian and that's supposed to let you, like, you understand, like, it's so many people that are Caucasian that are getting these jobs just because they're white.
It's because they are white.
And it's like, okay, so you're white and you feel like, or better yet, your uncle co-signed on you and this person in the community co-signed on you and you couldn't do the job if you tried. But yet there's other people out there who actually went to school, went to HBCU and has bust their butt to be where they are and can't even get a foot in the door. So it's almost to the point, like, what's the point of going to school if it's not going to get me where I need to get? So,
Exactly.
like, for
But
me,
look,
it's,
that's why we're number one in entrepreneurship. You know, we bossing. You
yeah.
don't want to check. You don't want to give us this opportunity. We're going to create it, and
Listen,
then once we create it, we're gonna bypass you on the elevator on the way up, and it's gonna come full circle, and
mhm.
it's that time is gonna come back around, and you're gonna need me. But by the time you need me, I'm gonna call the shots.
And you know what's so funny? This is why I love, like, Atlanta's like my second home, and the reason why I love it is because I
It's
love how
a
everybody is just so. It could be 19 people doing the same exact thing, but nobody's hating.
exactly. Everybody's gonna flourish.
Yeah,
Everybody.
I mean, one of my cousins guys out there, he owns at least, you know, 7 clubs. But the thing that's so great about it is like all the clubs are in the same area. So literally, if a bottle girl gets off of work, she walks right across the street and goes to her next job. And, you know, within a day's span, she done worked 3 different jobs in the same area and got her money. And it's not like, okay, you only work one night, then you go home, and then you got to figure out the rest of the week. So everybody out there has a hustler's mentality, and the opportunities are there.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, speaking of change, back to basketball,
Mm-hmm.
why do you think it's so important to respect a female basketball player as a whole?
I mean, first and foremost, if you was raised right, you was raised to respect women off rip. So that's just
Hey.
That's first and foremost. When it comes to women and just sports in general,
Mm-hmm.
they go the extra mile. And honestly, for me, I love coaching women. Um, there's no talk back. There's, you know, the men, you know, they always feel like, oh, because they play and they do extra this, you know, it's always that type of, you know, controversy talk. But with women, they're so open minded, and again, it's the way, you know, they don't get me wrong, they're very aggressive. They want to get their point across too, but it's the way they handle it. And they earn their respect.
You're about like the second or third person that I've interviewed that said that, like, women don't talk back.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, they just don't. And I mean, like, again, they're, you know, they were just raised correctly. So for me, honestly, like every female I've coached, you know, they've never second guessed anything I put on there. If they have, they pull me to the side and be like, yo, coach, I think we should go with this angle. I think we should do this. Like, it's been like on that level. I
Yeah.
honestly can say, like, it's never been, you know, anything negative. So for me, um, like even like my hiring my women's staff, they've always been like, oh, what can we do for you? What do you need us to do? What can we do to make different? Um, you know, sometimes the guys are just like, hey, all right, cool. What's exactly my title? What's the breakdown? What's this? What's that? It's a whole spill that needs to happen first. With the women, it's just like, okay, what can we do? What can we do to make this program better? Things like that. So for me, I can honestly say women are going to be the forefront of everything in the near
Yes.
future, and I think it's going to be so dope. And you know, eventually, like, I want to get, like, as far as when I open it up to, you know, other people coming in and getting, you know, partial ownership of the team, I want that to be women, you know, things on lines like that. Like even in the women's flag football league that we run, we want the opportunity to give the women the open forum to, like, if this is your league, like, we're doing this league for you. I don't care if it's being ran by men. This league is for you. So whatever you want to see happen, let's make it happen. But if you don't speak up, you know, we can't make the change happen. As far as we're concerned, if you don't say nothing, then everything's going perfectly fine. So if you have an issue with something you don't like, speak up. Let's make it happen.
Exactly. Speaking of the forefront, the WABA has a slogan. 3 words. It's our time.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear those 3 words, what come to your mind?
I mean, for me, honestly, it's now. That's it. When it says our time, is now. Like, it. Forget what happened in the past. Forget what was, you know, however you looked at women's sports back then. We here now. We're ready to make noise. So when I hear that, I just hear now.
Amen. Amen. So, how are you going to prepare for the next 6 months? You know, February is slowly creeping away. All here soon. So, how
Listen,
are you preparing?
I literally wake up every morning, and I know you've seen it. I'll post the same job opportunities that are there until somebody fills them. Um, I know that I have a goal set for March 1st to get my staff filled. Even if the head coach is not there by then, like I said, March 1st, we'll make
We'll
an
hold,
announcement.
we'll hold it down until you get
Yeah,
that head.
listen, I'm not, listen, like I said, worst case scenario, I'll fill those shoes, but I really want to find the right female coach to, you know, take that position. But March 1st, we will make an announcement for a lot of people on the staff,
Okay.
the signing of the players. I want to find a good 5 core girls, core women to build the team around. Go from there. Like I said, the support has been amazing. And I literally mean, like, everybody has either congratulated me or, you know, reached out and said, how can we help? You know, we're gonna do our stuff to find, you know, practice gym, you know, home gym, you know, things like the home gyms. I honestly, I think it's gonna be the easy part. It's just gonna
Okay.
figure out, you know, what they're gonna cost us and things like that. But the home gym will probably be the easy part, and then finding the dates, you know, to fill the practice gyms. Um, shouldn't be a problem at all. And I mean, most of my staff are coaches at schools, so I'm pretty sure we could find, you know, a gym to do something. So again, my only roadblock is, you know, finding the right head coach for these players. Other than that, everything, honestly, everything's going to go for a sort. Because I look at it this way: if I was able to do this by myself with two different organizations, and I'm putting a staff together this time, this should be a breeze.
Exactly, exactly. And plus, you know, with your experience, with your great character, um, and you putting it out in the atmosphere, you're not going to have any choice but to have that perfect head coach. So she's coming.
Yeah,
She
listen,
coming.
I
Be there
already
before.
know. I already know.
She'll be there before. So is there any sponsorship or partnership opportunities with the New England Trailblazers?
Oh yeah, I mean, we're open to like everything. So the sponsorship package is actually being done right now. It's actually done. I'm having two other people proofread it just to make sure that everything is legit. We have a corporate sponsorship, and then we have a local sponsorship. And the local sponsorship will cover, you know, like, you know, the moms and pops that want to support, any of your friends, family, things along the lines like that. And then we have a corporate one and everything that it comes with as far as like logo placement on the uniforms, on the website, you know, on the programs, banners in the gym, things like that. You know what their money is going towards. I have incentives for the players. Like I said, for the first year, I already told everybody, if you're looking to get paid, this is the wrong organization for you. So everybody's been coming in with the mindset of like, okay, we want to make this program grow. So I also have created in everybody's contract incentives for them to make money. And for those who, you know, again, if you want to get your hustle on and you want to, you know, build your resume, make some money on the side too, there's other outlets that we're putting together so people, as far as the staff and the players, can, you know, have some type of another incentive as far as doing that. So everybody's been supportive. I mean, for the most part, I've been waiting for that one person to just be like, oh, well, you know, no pay. This is not for me. Not one person has came in with that mentality. So it's been great.
That's how you know their heart is in it. Their
Exactly.
heart is in it. Um, so one word to describe the Trailblazers when August 2021 comes and your starting five step on that floor. What's one word that comes to your mind?
Showtime.
I love it. I love it. Showtime. That's what,
That's the best way I could put it.
hey, keep it real, keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
Showtime. Okay, and last but not least, this is the last question of your interview.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've been, you know, studying and looking at other teams and being supportive all around. So, hot seat, call out time. Who you looking for? Come on, everybody that called out somebody on here.
um, honestly, well, you know, if you want to make the call out, we're gonna make the call out right. I'm calling out DC. We're gonna call out the defending champs. It's only
Okay,
right.
okay,
It's
and
only right.
you,
We're in the same division. You know what I'm
I
saying?
hope
It's
he's
only right.
watching.
It's
You heard?
it's only right. Like honestly though,
Yeah, because
I respect
they
I
have to
respect
defend.
every team. I've looked at the other teams, and you know most teams are rebuilding. You know, I know the majority of teams have called out Atlanta, Angels. But
Yeah.
honestly, DC will honestly be the call out, and it's literally just it's a respect level.
Oh yeah.
It's with
But
all due respect to what they do over there. Like to win it all and going through the gauntlet of teams that you have to go through in order to do so, that is beyond respect.
oh yeah, and he put that bling on the
Listen, I seen it. I seen it.
on
And
the
I
interview.
respect it.
I'm like, okay,
They telling you, man, if you win it
you know,
all, man, talk your mess. Can't no,
exactly.
as of at this point, can't nobody say nothing to you until they beat you and take it from you. So
As you should, as you should. Well, Coach, thank you so much again
Thank
for
you.
time on this Tuesday. I'd like to ask all of my guests to close us out with a positive word before we end the conversation.
Um,
It can be one word, it can be a statement, or it can just be off the top of the dome. It don't matter.
um, for me, honestly, health is a forefront right now. So as long as everybody's staying healthy, doing whatever they need to do to, keep themselves safe, keep their family safe, then that's a blessing. So
All right, there you have it. Thank you again, and truly, just know this is not your last interview. It's your first one, but it's
okay,
not your last.
all
So
right,
I would definitely love to bring you back on the platform to see how much you've grown between today
right.
and upcoming season. And if
Whenever you're ready.
you once you get your players, you can reach back out to me because I would definitely love to get them on the platform.
Oh
And
yeah, for sure. I have Kashaya Cannon. That's probably going to
okay,
be the one player I do want you to interview with. She is like I said, she works with the Boston Celtics. Um, and she is just a great overall person. So that'll definitely be the person that I will definitely have you, interview with.
okay, so I'll be reaching back out to you so we can get Kashina on here because I would love to talk to her,
Okay.
especially what she's up to now and anticipating the season.
Correct.
So okay, well, thank you, and you enjoy the rest of your evening.
You
And
too
like
as
I said,
well.
we'll come back around and have you back on here. You can come as many as times as you want.
All right.
Long as the platform exists, you can be on here every week if you want, long as you have something to say.
All right.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
All right.
All right, you guys, there you have it. There was Mr. Stephen Julien. He is the owner of the New England Trailblazers. Again, this is Helen Bohanna, where she knows her sports. Another WABA IG Live conversation in the books. And again, this is the League of Opportunity. So if you are a female basketball player, a small business owner, if you have a sports brand you want to get out there on the market, or if you're an aspiring team owner, please visit www.womensaba.com. Follow them here on Instagram at Women's ABA. Like their page on Facebook at Women's American Basketball Association. Follow them on Twitter at Women's ABA. Follow me here on Instagram at She Knows Her Sports. Like my page on Facebook at She Knows Her Sports with Helen Bohanna. In the meantime, be on the lookout in my stories and the WABA stories for next week's guests. But other than that, stay safe, mask up, wash your hands. Until next time.